Welcome back to the Lovable Asshole Podcast. This is your man KJ from Queens. Please check us out on Spotify under the Lovable Asshole Podcast and streaming on YouTube under the Lovable Podcast. Any questions or you just want to reach out, please contact me at info@thelovablepodcast.com. Again, like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this episode. You know the famous quote, believes nothing that you hear, only half of what you see. That is so true and has been true for centuries, but it is extremely relevant to what we deal with today. You know, what is real? What is real? At this point, you always have to question everything. I mean, I guess certain concrete things, you go knock on a tree or something, stomp your feet on the concrete. I guess that's real enough. But damn near everything else is like, what is real? I go to Kroger, I go to Publix, I go to all these major supermarkets here in the Southeast. And I'm struggling to find fruits with seeds. Right? Everything is seedless. All black man wants a watermelon. And not for the bullshit, rhetoric from, bigots. If you know the history of watermelon, is extremely good for, black people and our genetic makeup. High levels of hydration and energy that you get from that fruit. B, it was actually a huge industry for recently, freed slaves, especially those pushed towards the, coastal areas. Watermelon was a huge industry. We made money off of it. And that's when they started mocking it because we made money. So don't fall into that shit about, fried chicken and watermelon. Hell, fried chicken became industry for us too. It was scraps, it was slave food. It was the only way to preserve, chicken without, refrigeration. So that whole fried chicken and watermelon insult, need to flip that on his head, is actually not an insult. They just convinced us to hate industries that we dominated. But they don't have no problem putting this white dude with a white beard and calling him a colonel and shit and selling the chicken right back to you. Ain't that something? Fake. Shit is all fake. But again, back to the fruits. I grew up, watermelon had seeds, grapes had seeds. Like, you go now and everything is seedless. Now, I've read reports and seen different videos where they say, well, of course, the seedless fruits come from real fruits. But yeah, they're a mutation. They're a mutation that cannot reproduce itself. So they have to necessarily get manufactured to get reproduced. And let me let you in on a secret. Fruits without seeds are less healthy than fruits with seeds. Seedless fruit that mutated organically from real fruits or from, seeded fruits are mutations that really should have died off. But the concept of continuing to, in essence, clone those mutated fruits is where we get this whole seedless craze from. But the shit is not real. As far as I'm concerned, it may be technically, yes, scientifically possible, but the way that it's produced, it's not real. The health benefits now are severely reduced. You lose so much vitamins and minerals from these seedless fruits, not to mention the lack of fiber. So then that shit is not real as far as I'm concerned. I don't want it. Let me struggle with the goddamn seeds. I'm okay. I don't want that fake shit. But it's so hard to find the real shits now. The fake ones are what's being produced in mass. I don't know. Right? There we have images. Can you trust your eyes? Now with the new iPhones, you take a picture and when you see that picture on your phone is almost, a hologram, right? It's almost a 3D picture. You have the capability to crop people out of your picture completely, which is wild because pictures are supposed to be memories. It's supposed to capture a moment in time. So if you have a picture, you have two of your friends and maybe one dude that ain't your friend no more. Let's call her Ray Ray and shit. But you have a picture when, you're on a boys' trip, young dudes having fun, not caring about nothing. And you come up on the picture like, oh, remember this time? And then somebody points out, but yo, was it Ray Ray in this picture? Like, no, I cropped him out because I don't mess with Ray Ray though. I mean, how fake is that? Like, it's a moment in time. Even if you don't mess with a person, then that's the memory. Like, remember this dude? He used to be cool. He used to be my guy. Now I don't mess with him no more. I'm gonna crop him out of the picture that we took 10 years ago. That's crazy. That's fake. And I'm gonna touch on the subject, and it's gonna ruffle some feathers. But so what? Our women, it's like we celebrate the fake shit now, and everybody, men and women, but all women have the right to feel confident about themselves. To throw on clothes that accentuate their, let's just say, attractive, desirable, aspects to help with self-esteem. Nothing's wrong with that, but we just going way too far. These BBLs are just out of control. I have teenage boys. I don't know if they gonna know what a real ass is by the time they go off to college. That's what I'm saying. What is real? Is that the new real now? Because you really paid for it. You really went to, DR, met somebody in the hotel to to get your shots. I guess that's the reality. You really paid for it. And look, people trying to present them best selves is nothing new. Hell, grandmothers that wore slips, girdles. You watch them old shows and shit, right? And women wore corsets. Makeup has been an industry for centuries. Usually these things were to kind of, accentuate what you naturally have, which is fine. It's just like us when we get a haircut, we feel, damn invincible. Right? Get that fresh line where you can't tell me nothing. So there's nothing wrong with wanting to look good and feel good. But there's a difference between that and masking real issues. Because I find these women, especially I'm here in Atlanta, so I've been seeing that shit for a long time. And you could almost feel the lack of true self-esteem and self-worth in some of our women, which saddens me. Because as a grown man in his 40s, you look back at our videos from the 80s, the 90s, and look at the women then. We had no problem lusting over these women that didn't have, I don't know, size 40 derrieres. We had no problem lusting over women that had naturally beautiful full lips and those that didn't even have lips that full. Who cares? We didn't. So what is this obsession now that everything has to be super enlarged? Like a woman is going to get a man's attention no matter what. We are genetically wired to be attracted to women. But what's up with the fake shit? That's not you wanted to attract a man at some points. Like, look, again, growing up, when you wanted to feel better about yourself, you had Jenny Craig, you had Weight Watchers, right? You had, Jacqueline, Jane Fonda, and all of them with the exercise videos, giving you a lane to feel better through diet and exercise. Jenny Craig be like, yeah, we cater, we set you up with a meal plan. Follow that, exercise. Weight Watchers set you up with a meal plan. Follow that, exercise. Do things to improve your look or to, be more healthy or to, fit into certain clothes better to make yourself, feel, more attractive through a process, through a journey, something real. To where the journey and the process help to build up your self-esteem. Because if you eat better, you exercise, you're going to feel better about yourself. You may not result in a super duper tiny waist and an ass that looks like two watermelons, but you probably feel better, right? Your body feels better. The exercise and the right foods enhances your mental wellness as well. And if you dive even deeper into, meditating and pray or whatever the case may be, that helps your spiritual wellness. But everything is fake. Everything is a shortcut. You have probably the greatest female athlete ever in Serena Williams, who had a body that men, black, white, Indian, Chinese, I don't give a shit who, lusted after because it was athletic and naturally curved. Like, she didn't need no injection, no scalpel, no anything. And when she wore that black cat suit at the US Open, that just shut everything down. And that was like, social media was around, but it wasn't even as big as it is now. She would have shut it all down. Healthy diet, athlete, working out, discipline, determination, all the things that made her a great champion. And now she's selling GLP shots to lose weight. And she looks horrible, in my opinion. And that's my opinion. Shit, it's my podcast. That's my opinion. Like, what are you doing? So now you was an image to young girls of, like I said, sacrifice, hard work, determination, willpower, to be a great athlete, to be in great shape. Now you selling to young girls and women, yo, just take this shot, get skinny. Or fake. Do you know what's going to happen to all these people that are taking all of the Wegovy, Ozempics, and all the other shits that seem to come out every couple weeks? In the long run, I mean, we live history every day. We won't know until it's time, and you be like, oh, snap. Yeah, look what happened to those that wanted that shortcut. Fake. It's all fake. It reminds me of this movie, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, which I believe was Keenan Wayans. I know he had a movie before Robert Townsend, Hollywood Shuffle, but I believe this one was the first one where he produced and directed exclusively. And, long story short, there was a scene where he met this woman for a date, tall, nice hip woman, look stunning, right? And they hit it off at the date, and she took her back to her apartment and was telling him how she felt so comfortable around him that she just wanted to be herself. She started taking off lashes, started popping out, whatever pads and stuff out her bra, taking off the wig. She didn't have any hair. And I think the final straw was she popped off a leg, like a prosthetic leg. And she took out butt implants before that. And this is the late 80s. We was mocking that stuff. And that's without all of the methods now that women have to transform themselves almost into caricatures. Because again, I said it's one thing if, look, to each his own. I know you're going to hear it's my body, this and that, and that's true. You have the right to do whatever, destroy it if you want to. That's your right, I guess. But right, you could understand little enhancements. You know, real plastic surgery costs a shitload of money. That's why it used to be reserved for rich white women, wives and girlfriends of rich white men before it became more accessible. All right, there's enhancements. Sure, little tuck, little nip. Okay, whatever. But what we see now is outrageous. Like, you see these skinny bras with, twigs for legs and not need with some super duper ass popping out the back, chest popping out the out whatever outfit they got on, and big ass duck lips. I don't know. I guess for a grown man like me, I look at that. That's not super attractive to me. Maybe I guess the younger generation again, they grew up with the fakeness. So that's why I say, what's fake? What's real? Excuse me. What's real? It is fake to me, but I guess it's real to them. I don't know. I don't know. But it's hiding deeper issues, and that's my concern because again, men are wired to be attracted to women, and everyone has a preference: light, dark, tall, short, skinny, not so skinny, whatever. It doesn't matter. But when you have all of these ridiculous enhancements, we'll say, and then in order to show off your enhancements, you got everything hanging out, leaving practically nothing to the imagination. Oh, you're going to get attention. You're going to get attention. It's like, again, we're already trained to look, and we see that it's like, oh, snap, that's a lot. You're going to get attention. But what type of energy are you attracting? Is it real energy? Is it men saying, man, I could see myself with her one day. I think we can build together. Or you just getting the energy that, I just want to ride this freak show and see, what I mean, see what it's about. And then you start to attract people with super low energy, which can lead to all types of other problems, other issues. Because, see, you put out the fake, you going to get the fake back. Then y'all go on, get on here and complain ain't no men and men this and men that, all that bullshit. No, you put out the fake, you get the fake. Life is all about balance. And again, to each his own. I just appeal to those who are really, really going through real issues to go ahead and seek help, professional help, seek help from people around you that really want you to do well, really support and push for your happiness. Seek help from whatever spiritual avenue that you have instead of doing things to your body that you may regret and it still doesn't help the real issues that you have. Look for something real. Now, the other day, I saw a video of Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, fighting. So this was all over, at least Twitter, about how AI is going to completely, change the movie industry. Will it render actors, useless? Again, fake. I mean, movies were already fake, but it's like, damn, at least we had real people, right? You had some real stuntmen and shit where you could even, watch the old movies and see where, somebody hat was blue in one scene and they running away, the hat was red or something. You know what I mean? At least it was real within a fake world, so to speak. Now they're like, fuck it. It's already fake. Let's just go all the way. All right? But there's a flip side to that though. How many fake images are going to lead to conflict, to violence, to panic, to war? I'm old enough to remember when the powers that be gave General Colin Powell fake pictures of WMDs, weapons of mass destruction, that were in Iraq. Damn near 30 years later, or 30 plus years later, where are these weapons? They ain't never find them. So they gave them fake pictures to drum up public support to go to war for shit that had nothing to do with our public well-being whatsoever. That was just a money grab. Right? You have movies like Wag the Dog, Vice that show you, yeah, you put out, you put out fake shit to get results. It's not new. Go research, Hearst, one of the original, what they call yellow journalism newspaper magnates. He's pretty much responsible for World War One. Fake news. So it's not just all fun and games to say, yeah, shit is fake. Things that are fake can cause real problems, real issues. And that's on a global scale. Just personally, with AI and things that we can do with pictures through different apps and videos through different apps. How much fake shit do you put out? Can you put out that'll hurt kids? Fake pictures of them doing fake acts and plastering it, on social media or peer-to-peer sites, whatever. I'm sure it's happening. All right. I don't have a personal story about that. I'm sure it's happening. And that's costing people real lives, right? Leading to suicides or homicides. And it's only going to get worse because the technology is more easily accessible. It's, with AI, it's only getting stronger, more intelligent, more efficient. So you may say, hey, fake, we can laugh it off. At the end of the day, fake images, fake people, fake food can lead to real problems.